happening, guys? Welcome to J Powell Music. Be sure to like and subscribe here on the channel so you can get more notifications and whatnot on these episodes from when they release. I do a lot of stuff, guys. I do the 440 Guitar Podcast. Check that out. That has a YouTube channel, Music Buds with Preston and Bud. His show, I co-host on that. Also his YouTube channel, please check that out. Gamers for Life podcast. If you're a gamer, I have over 90 episodes, or nearing 90 episodes with my good friend Arthur Thomas, talking about video games. Great podcast, great episodes. Check that out. Also a YouTube channel for that. Just recently started a channel called the Rap Chats podcast. There's a few folks that I've been acquainted with that are musicians and have been in the industry and just, very music oriented and hip hop specifically, rap specifically. Started doing a lot of Instagram, IG live videos and started to say, well, why don't you do a podcast? So there's 2 episodes out. One of them is an IG excerpt. Another one is where I'm speaking to D Skills Harris. Shout out to D Skills Harris. But today we're talking about something that is a kind of a part 2. So KELIS and Beyonce, when it comes to this crazy, or just this crazy situation, just because the power of social media is just, very apparent, because KELIS, got what she wanted. The sample has been removed and the credit has been removed. She is, so as far as her, her expressing her anger on it not being cleared, will not gone through her, quote unquote. She got what she wanted. So I wanted to read this from okplayer.com. It says here in quote, the sample removed from Energy featured La 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 that leads up to KELIS's famous chords by Milkshake brings all the boys to the yard, end quote. Inspired by a trip that Pharrell spent clubbing in Brazil, the danceable inspiration of Milkshake could have been right at home on Beyonce's Renaissance, an album that pulled from decades worth of club music trends, but KELIS believes Pharrell's slight is more than just absent-minded industry business. Furthermore, it says Pharrell knows better. She said in the same Instagram video, this is a direct hit at me. He does this stuff all the time. The reason I'm annoyed is because I know it was on purpose. Since her beef with Pharrell goes all the way back to the singer's first 2 albums. Signed to the Neptune's own label Star Trek Entertainment, KELIS has said that she's made no money at all of the sales of 1999's Kaleidoscope or 2001's Wonderland, end quote. So just to continue with what happened from the last video here for J Powell, where I initially discussed this, where I said I feel like she's taking out her anger out on Pharrell, on Beyonce, with Pharrell on Beyonce, taking all this out on Beyonce, because while she didn't quote unquote call KELIS to clear the sample, she doesn't fucking have to. That was my whole point from the last episode. So, and it seems like to me, this affirms this, she talks about the issue with Pharrell as far as like, he does this all the time. And then just to emphasize, she's made no money, which is terrible. She's made no money from the sales of the Kaleidoscope or Wonderland, which is really, really upsetting. But back to this, I mean, it's interesting the power of social media as far as to get some of this stuff taken off. But I guess in the hindsight and the other side of the spectrum, I mean, yes, the sample was taken down. The sample was taken down, and it got enough, it connected to a lot of people that people, were talked about it enough where it became an issue for them, and they felt that it was warranted to take everything down. But she's not now she's kind of at square one now. And when I say that is that she's going to make no money. I mean, she's still making no money from what she's making, which sucks, right? It sucks. So I'm just going to kind of reiterate what I said last episode as far as like, hey, I mean, try to figure out how to get out of your deal, your contract, if possible. I have no idea what type of a crazy deal that she's locked into. Obviously, it's one where she's still has made no money from her first 2 albums, which are her biggest albums. I don't know if she has more albums. I'm not super familiar with KELIS's catalog. But yeah, I just find it interesting that the power of social media really getting to the point where they say, hey, let's just take this and remove this and be on our way. I think a part of that is because the sales and sales has been really weird for music today, especially when it comes to the streaming notion, because the sales for the Beyonce's Renaissance, I want to say it was around 200,000 sales or whatever they equate to sales. And in hindsight, that's pretty low comparative to some of her other albums like Lemonade and things like that. And it's not a ratio thing where, you know, well, this is going to equate to how bad the album is. Like, it's definitely not, you know, it's not a quantity over quality is never it. It's always the other way around, right? You know, so it shouldn't depict, you know, reflect on the quality of the album, because I've listened to a little bit of it. It definitely has that vibe, that dancey vibe, as mentioned. But it's interesting that this little Instagram thing of KELIS saying, "Hey, you should have called me, even though, you know, you don't need to call me," but it was a big enough stink to remove it. And I honestly feel like they did this just because, you know what, the streams aren't where they should be. We don't want them to reduce, at least not anytime soon. Let's just remove this now, cut our losses, and just have people just kind of have a fresh start when it comes to just the song, and just to continue more people listening. I really feel like that's what happened here. Because I don't think they really I don't really feel like they cared about what KELIS had to say, until it, you know, obviously there was a big enough stink via social media, power of social media. But yeah, that's all I have to say about that. So interesting. What are your thoughts? Feel free to leave something in the comments. Have a little discussion if you want. But again, J Powell Music, thanks so much for watching. Be sure to let everybody know about the channel, support the channel, appreciate it. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye.